from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster who's coming through across space and time. But he's also, it could be considered his use of space and time is interesting at best, or it could be called interesting. And if you're confused by any of this, maybe you're new, welcome. This podcast is called Sleep With Me, and it's a podcast to hang out with you and help you fall asleep by just taking your mind off of stuff. I'm really glad you're here. People coming back for a visit after a while, welcome back. Regular listeners, what up? Pets, fishes, what up, my fishes? I love saying that. And when I say fishes, you know, it's not exclusive to fishes. It's just pandering, not to fishes. I mean, fishes, of course, I'm pandering to you. Other pets, I was not just pandering to fishes. I was pandering to you specifically, but using fishes so that as a distraction, because everybody would be so jealous of you. Because you really are the greatest pet. You know, what can I say? I love you. And that's why I'm pandering to you specifically, as well as your lovely companion there nearby. Pandering, I don't know if I'm pandering to them, but trying to, you know, make them feel some sleepy, joyous delight. I don't know, my fishes. Can you feel sleepy, joyous delight? But, I don't know, but I'm going to try because I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Sleep With Me podcast to put you to sleep. But what we got coming up is some support, and that's just for the super listeners, so that for new listeners, occasional listeners, and people that are in a position to support the show, paying's optional. Then there'll be a long, meandering intro meant to ease you into bedtime. And then after that, we'll have a story. Tonight will be a recap of the second half of a film, a motion picture, a Star Trek film, but it'll be self-contained as well, about the Grapes of Wrath. No, not the Grapes of Wrath. I think it's early enough in the show I could say that term, because it's not really that. It's not super unsleepy, but later on, it was the Grapes of Khan, not Wrath. But you know what I mean. I changed stuff around to make it more sleepy. But I'm really glad you're here. And if you're new, don't worry. I'll explain more in the intro. If you're just coming back for a visit, like I said, I'm glad to see you. If you're the best pet on the planet Earth, holy moly. I won't even use the term number. I'll use number two because we giggle. Like, not the pet that's number two to you. But I just use number two when I use pets to make us all laugh. But yeah, I'm glad everyone's here. Now, if you listen to this podcast, it makes your life better continuously, night after night. You're who we count on to support the show, for you and for a bunch of other people. When you support the show as a super listener, you support it for all the value you get out of Sleep With Me, and for all these other listeners I talked about earlier. And if you are a super listener, say, hey, that's me. I'd love to make sure this podcast is around for me and other people. These are the ways that you can support a sponsor or support the show directly right here. Thanks. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Helix Sleep. And I think it's time for you to take that Helix quiz. All you do is go to helixsleep.com/sleep. Take the quiz, and you'll get matched with a mattress that fits your sleep preferences, your sleep needs. What's going to help you get a good night's sleep? Because I can tell you from experience, I've spent all winter long snuggled in my Helix. I was so comfortable. I got to tell you, I love my Helix. And if you've been listening to this podcast on a regular basis, you know, Helix is the sponsor we've had the longest relationship with, because everybody deserves a mattress that feels comfortable to them, that helps them sleep. And maybe that's you. I don't know. Does your mattress do that for you? Well, that's why we work with Helix, because the Helix Quiz matches you with the perfect mattress based on your personal preferences and sleep needs. It makes buying a mattress easy. Helix is award-winning, the most awarded mattress brand, tested and reviewed by experts like Forbes and Wired. There's free shipping and seamless delivery. Helix delivers a mattress right to your door with free shipping in the U.S. And there's the Happy with Helix guarantee. Rest easy with seamless returns and exchanges. The Happy with Helix guarantee offers a risk-free, customer-first experience designed to ensure you're completely satisfied with your new mattress. So get over there. I don't know what you're waiting for, honestly. You deserve a new bed. And you deserve seeing what Helix has in store for you. So go to helixsleep.com/sleep to see the latest offers for Sleep With Me listeners. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots, and I'm running through the yeses for supporting the show, because it takes a lot of yeses to support the show, but I want to go through the no's first. If you're new, don't support the show. If you only listen once in a while, no need to support the show. If you can't support the show, don't worry. We got you. And if you've already chosen or you're not interested in supporting the show, don't worry either. We got you. It is rare to support the show, and that's okay, because it's difficult, even for the people that have heard me asking for years. So I'm trying to see if the yeses have piled up at this point for you. Like, yes, you love having a bore friend or a bore bud. Yes, I maybe put a smile on your face or half a smile. Yes, you got favorite episodes. Yes, you like to listen to it a certain way. Yes, you know the show is there when you go to bed, when you're in the middle of the night, when you're on the road all night long, night after night, year after year. Yes, I know the podcast is there for me. I count on it. Yes, I couldn't find anything else like this. Yes, I couldn't replace the show. Yes, I know how much goes into this podcast. Yes, I know it needs people like me to support it. Yes, I want to be a part of this thing right now. For me and everybody else. Yeah, it's going to feel great when I sign up for the podcast, because it already feels great when I listen now. Yes, I can't wait to support the show because I love it, or I really strongly like the podcast. If that's you, you could sign up right now at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. But if you have all those yeses, don't wait, because they don't last. I've put stuff off, but you know what I mean. So don't put it off. Support the show now. sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. I'm only asking if it's all yeses for you. And then set up the bonus content tomorrow, and you'll be a part of this thing now and into the future for as long as you listen. You'll be able to count on this show, and other people will be counting on you in a good way, no pressure way. You can cancel at any point, but you'll be a part of this thing that impacts so many people's lives. And its goal is to bring sleepy joy and delight in the deep, dark night. So if all that's yeses, sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks. Oh, Mystery Bard, a lot of people help out on our show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes too. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at JonathanMann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Hannah like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mr. Bard. And remember, there's tons of free ways to help the podcast out. If you're one of those listeners who have been saying, hey, don't try to support the show directly. You could follow or subscribe to the show on your podcast app of choice so you get the episodes as they come out. You could comment or like episodes where you could do that. And you could let somebody know about the podcast. Those are all huge, huge ways to help the show, and I really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. And what do you say we get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake. That could be thoughts on your mind about the past, the present, the future, stuff you're thinking about, feelings, anything coming up for you emotionally, feelings that are just there, changes, physical sensations, changes in time, temperature, routine. You could have guests. You could be traveling. You could be helping somebody else out. You could be going through something, in the middle of something, getting over something. Whatever it is, I'm glad you're here. And I'm here to try to help. And the only reason I kind of run through some of that stuff that might be keeping you awake is so you know you're not alone, or that someone may be able to get it, like wherever you're at. And like that someone's been there and they want to help you out, not only because they've been there, but they understand what it feels like and they hope for something better for you. And because believe me, I know what it feels like. I know, now you may say, Scooch, you don't know exactly what it feels like for me. And you're right. I know what it feels like for me. I've dealt with a bunch of different stuff. But the good news is there's enough people listening right now that someone somewhere out there, as Fievel would say correctly in this case, I think beneath the moon and stars or someone's thinking of you in a positive way. They really have been through something similar. That's Fievel from An American Tale. But sorry, I never realized that the stuff I've been saying for the past few years in the intro, say, who said it better? Fievel actually did. Or my misquoting of Fievel's pretty good. I mean, I said, well, if that's what Fievel's saying or said, then it's pretty good. Anyway, setting aside Fievel from An American Tale for a moment, this is like the serious part of the podcast, since the one time I'm getting silly within this part. I mean, probably not the one time, but I'm not silly. I mean, Fievel's pretty cute. My youngest brother did have a pretty big Fievel stuffy. May still be able to find it. May still be where I live now. But anyway, what was my point? That someone somewhere in the world, maybe they're nearby you, maybe they're across the globe. They really know what it's like, what you're dealing with, whatever it is that brought you to this show. And they discovered this podcast. And while this podcast doesn't work for everybody, it worked for them. And they really hope that you could get the rest you need and you deserve, whether it's through the show or I can introduce you to another podcast or start you on a road of like getting a good bedtime routine or whatever it is. That's important to both me and all the other listeners, not just the people that really get where you're at, but every listener paying attention right now is rooting for you. And in a sense, by rooting for you, they're rooting for themselves, which is loving. And it is important because they're sending that well wishes to you across the deep, dark night. They're getting a good feeling back. It is real. And it does feel really good. I don't know. I'm sending it right now. And it does feel good to send well wishes to people having a tough time in the deep, dark night. So I hope this show can help you out because you deserve a bedtime that you don't have to dread, a bedtime without rigmarole, a bedtime where you get the rest you need on a regular basis so you can be out there in the world. And maybe down the road, you're getting the rest you need so regularly, you're flourishing. Because that means our world's a better place, and we need you in it. We'll all benefit from your presence, whether you could just be, like to me today, I'm going through it. Rigmarole's been the definition of my nights past couple weeks. And last night I did happen to get it took 12 hours for me to get almost 8 hours of sleep, but I did. And I feel better a little bit today. And I feel like I'm not at my best. I'm at my pretty goodest, mostly pretty goodest, because I'm able to be here for this show and for who needs me right now. And that's why I love making this podcast and trying to help you out if I can, because you deserve something nice at bedtime. And if I can make something that's pretty okay, and not bad, if I can relieve something, and this is really true, I'm not being self-deprecating. If you get to the point where you're like, well, at least I got that podcast guy, he's not bad, makes my night a little bit better. That really makes it important. That's really important to me. That really feels good to me. And it feels like success. I can strive to bring sleepy joy and delight to your ears and only get partially there. And then my life has meaning too, or my sleepless weeks have meaning too. So that's the magic of the show. It's really about sleepless people coming together in an indirect way, a friendly, indirect way. Now, the way it works is I send my voice across the deep, dark night. I use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, superfluous tangents. So I go off topic. I get mixed up. I talk about 5L or something else. 5L. You say, what if, who was what number was L? I don't even know. No, 11. I was trying to make some sort of a joke about 11 and L. 11 minus 6 is 5. Times, I don't know what 5, what's 5, then you say 5L, but it's really 5L from America. Anyway, that's a pointless meander. Maybe a superfluous tangent. That just means I go off topic, I get mixed up, because I'm here to just hang with you. Now, this podcast is not for everybody, and that's okay. Whatever it is that brought you here, I'm still here to try to help you, even if you don't like me or the show. So all I can tell you is to give it a few tries. That's what hundreds and hundreds of thousands, probably million listeners over the years have said. It took 2 or 3 tries for me to get used to the show. And like the first time I was like, what is this podcast? I don't think I like it. The second time I was like, I don't know about this. And the third time I just fell asleep. And it just takes a couple of tries. And now if you discover or you already know, like you try it 2 or 3 times, you're like, no, this just isn't the show for me. It's not my taste. It's not my style. I'm looking for something different. Don't worry. Or you're already like, I definitely need something different than you. That's totally okay. We got a website set up, sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. Especially if you're experiencing that on stronger terms, or like, yeah, this podcast is not for me on no uncertain terms. You just check that out and you find something else to try out. You don't need to send me messages or whatever. Enough people over the years have. That's why I've had that website set up for years. Because everything I said, you still deserve a good night's sleep, something that's going to comfort you and relieve you or guide you where you need to go. So just give the show a couple tries and see what happens. No pressure. This is also a podcast you don't really listen to. You kind of just barely listen to it. So I'm here to kind of talk, but you don't have to pay attention to me. It's like a TV on in the other room or a show streaming under your pillow. Or sand passing through your hands. It's something you could pay attention to, but you don't need to. You could listen, but it could also be background noise. So that takes getting used to too, right? You say, what do you mean I don't, it just takes some getting used to, but it's a podcast to be here for you. It's also, I'm not here to put you to sleep. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep. There's no pressure to fall asleep with this show. Like there's people listening who can't sleep at all, who just woke up or they woke up and started listening while they can't sleep, or they need a break during the day. And I'm here. There's no pressure to fall asleep. I'm here to hang out with you and take your mind off of stuff, to bring you some delight and comfort and sleepy joy in the deep, dark night. But maybe you fall asleep too. So there's no pressure to fall asleep. My job is to be your bore friend, your bore bae, your bore sib, your bore bud, your neighbor, your borby, your boreman, your chairman of the boards, your Boris Borloff, your best bore friend forever. And just keep you company and hang out for your benefit versus putting you to sleep, which also takes some getting. You see, the idea of having just hang out with you. But we've done it at least once in most of our lives. We've had somebody either advertently or inadvertently put us to sleep in this manner. I mean, kids got bedtime stories a lot of times, but this is a little bit different. It's a little bit more companionship, distraction, bedtime story. Whether you've done it with a roommate or a friend or a seminar or a work event or something else. And so that's what I'm here to do. Tonight we'll be talking about a Star Trek movie, a really good one, but my description of it is a different approach. So I can't even remember. I got to listen to the first one before I record the episode, actually. But anyway, the only other thing I'd like to run through, other than most people don't like the show, it takes getting used to. You listen differently, and it's actually not here to put you to sleep, which is a lot of people's expectations reasonably, right? Also, the structure of the show is different, and we've gotten to this structure. We've had a consistent structure for quite some time, and because we found that this structure benefits the maximum amount of people the show can, brings them relief in the deep, dark night, whether it's for a couple nights before a big exam or after a big loss, or they're somebody that's listened for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years. This version of the show helps out the most people it can. So it starts off with a greeting, friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So if you'll seen and welcomed in, you say, okay, I might check that show out. Then there's support. So the paying for the podcast is optional. And it really is optional. If you're new, you only listen occasionally, or you can't support the show for whatever reason, it is optional. The sponsors cover those listening types. And then the people that benefit the most when they choose to support the show, it's here for everybody. So that's what the support stuff's about. Then after the support is an intro, which is a show within a show. And it goes on for about 15 to 20 minutes of me explaining the podcast inefficiently with new meanders every time. I follow a familiar structure. And the reason every intro is new, but it follows a familiar structure, but is different, is so that whatever it is that's keeping you awake gets respected, I guess, in a sense. Validated, and because I think one of the things that never worked for me was repetition. It was almost like my thoughts and my feelings and whatever. I was like, no. You're not going to play that same thing again. I have needs, Now, my thoughts, feelings at bedtime can be, endless. They have an endless supply of needs, but at least having something fresh every time you say, oh, okay, at least I know the intro is going to be new. Or maybe that part of you knows that it's going to be new and feels respected. Because really, like I call those parts of me brain bots. They're just trying to follow whatever function they have. They don't realize that it's not conducive to sleep. and I'm good at handling those brain bots. Love it. Oh boy. You know who I love more than fishes? Again, fishes, I'm only saying this to pretend pander to brain bots. Brain bots, I'm only pretend pandering to fishes to pander to you. I think I may have, but yeah, how about this? I love you all. But what was my point? Oh, the intro goes on and on and on, also to serve another purpose, which is to ease you into bedtime. While there is a percentage of people that fall asleep fast, and if you fall asleep fast and you're hearing this, please support the show on Sleep With Me Plus, because we have no other way of supporting fall asleep fast listeners or keeping it sustainable for that type of listening. But most people don't fall asleep fast. This intro is a part of their wind down routine, getting ready for bed, getting in bed, getting comfortable, doing some other chill activities. And that is important. Like, I've really leaned into making sure I do my wind down routine because I'm in the midst of a tough time sleeping. And adding back some of the stuff I'd stopped doing because I was so not sleeping. I said, well, maybe I need to do some foam rolling and some breathing again and just be consistent about it. It has made a difference. Now, I'm not recommending those things for you. I'm just saying having a nice wind down, having this part of the podcast for all of us to hang out together sets things up and gives us a transition from being awake to asleep. And that's like what the show is, to ease you into bedtime. So that's the intro. Then there'll be some support, and then there'll be our coverage of the grapes, whatever, Con's grapes, and Con's sour grapes in this sense. Oh, boy. But it'll be good. We'll cover the second half of the film, and probably won't. If you've watched the film, you're like, this is not accurate at all. Yeah, you're right about that. Because I think I'm just going to watch it. I've watched it in preparation a few times, but I'm just going to watch it on mute and go from there. But I'm really glad you're here. Whether this is your 3,000 or 4,000, 5,000th time listening to an episode, or it's your first, or anywhere in between, whether you're a brain bot or a fish or some other pet I'm speaking to specifically that may be the greatest pet in the world, I'm glad you're here. I really hope I can help you out. I really yearn and strive. I really want to help you fall asleep. And thanks for coming by. Myself and a team of people will really pour our hearts into this show. And if this show impacts your life in a positive way on a regular basis, and you could afford to support the show or one of the sponsors or change your other streaming services and support the show, you support it for your listening and a lot of other people that listen less than you or just can't support the show. So consider that if the podcast has changed your life. And here's the ways you could do that. Thanks. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots. I've already run through people that just, there's no reason for you to support the show if you're new. If you only listen once in a while when you need the podcast, if you're not in a place where you can support the show or you're not in a place where you want to support the show, you don't need to support the show. But if you're not in one of those groups and you're hearing me and you're listening to me right now in this moment, I want to run through some of the yeses because it does take a lot of yeses to get people to support the show. It's hard to support the show, even when you can and you want to, and that's okay, right? So is it a yes? Like, yes, you want to be a part of this thing we're doing. Yes, the podcast has made your life better. Yes, it brings you comfort, maybe sleepy joy and delight in the deep, dark night. Yes, you love having the bore giggles. Yes, you know you could count on this podcast. Yes, you'd miss it if it was gone. Yes, you want that feeling and knowing when you support the podcast for yourself, you're supporting it for thousands of other people. Yes, there's something about the podcast that's different than everything else you tried. Yeah, you feel good when you're here. Yes, you like it's changed. We've reached our, like, whatever it is. I'm here to change your relationship with the deep, dark night. If any of those are yeses and you're saying, yes, I'm hearing you right now, Scoots, I'm listening. I know you need my support and I want to be a part of this thing right now. Go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus and set up the bonus content tomorrow, but go right now to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus and sign up because the yeses are only right now. And there's probably only going to be one person that has all those yeses. And maybe that's you. If it's not you, Don't worry about it. I'm trying to get to that person that it is. All those are yeses right now. And they're going to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks. All right, we were back here with the grapes con. On mute, no, what do you call it? Subtitles. I'm just kind of catching up where they, what did they depolarize all the grape preserves and grape jelly? Sent it back to Khan's, well, not Khan's ship. The ship Khan had taken over. Even looked and saw, like, somewhere they were trying to, like, freeze the jelly on Khan's ship with some sort of spray. And so they take off and try to get away. Basically, it was Khan's taking over an Enterprise ship. Kirk right now is not happy. Or he's like, they're kind of stuck. I think they don't have any power. Scotty comes up from the bridge. He's got one of his friends covered in jelly, jam, and preserves. This rookie, Spock, has to close his eyes because he says that poor rookie, like, he'll always be known. And they have a whole 26, down in the care bay. People have, you wouldn't think that this would be a big deal, but in space it is. And in the future, but you could get a seed where you don't want it, and you could be stuck to something. So big cleanup, basically. And you say, well, why? Well, because, at least like not expected, you'd say we never anticipated our ship being covered in jam jelly and or preserves, and the interior of the ship and all the crew. And so, and none of the crew members did. We didn't have this in the paperwork. And there's a serious gravity of the situation because that rookie says, you know what? I resigned my post forever from Starfleet. Then we see the space station again. Really looks great. And the space station is empty. Enterprise is calling in. But there's no one there to answer. Enterprise is really close. And I think they even pull into dock. And Kirk has jelly on his lapel. Is that a lapel? I don't know. The chest of his jacket. And he's like, what we got here is a mystery. We got this empty planet. We got a space station. We got Khan on one of the ships. We've got, what are we going to do? Spock. Spock says it's all illogical. And he goes, yeah. We got to do something because we got power down. They're around. They could be on the other side of that planet, more or less. McCoy, you got anything, quips? Yeah, I'm going to cross my arms. And I think they say, well, let's go on the planet. Saavik says, I'm coming with you. Oh, okay. And McCoy says, let me raise my eyebrows at that because that was unexpected. Spock, you're in charge of the ship, but we'll be back. McCoy has to throw something in there. Don't do anything illogical, buddy, while we're down there. They take the A-turbo lift. And they materialize in between geoplastics and gravitronics, JK and G and H. And they do some scanning. They have their full coats on just in case it's cold. And they say, okay, let's get some sticky string, silly string ready too, just in case. And let's walk around gently. And this is some space station. Is this a science vessel or a space station? Let's just walk separately, even though we have, our ships FaceTiming them. And they have JBK sensors on that ship for synthostasis. So I don't know what the history of those sensors are. There's a lot of doors opening. And really nice. McCoy goes into geoplastics. which is connected to let's see what thermonics, go from geoplastics to thermonics. And he notices that when he gets into geoplastics, a large number of the space station crew is in that sleep space, like a real sleep space state, but seemingly without the pods that are so famous in other pieces of science fiction. And McCoy says, impossible. Like, this couldn't have been done except by maybe some sort of hypnosis. And then they check some sort of box, box number 1. It's all locked up. And inside that box, sleeping inside a box, is McCoy and Winfield. Not McCoy and Winfield. Sorry, we just got back. The former crew member from the Enterprise, whose name I'll get, I almost added, but he's like, sorry, Captain, we got, everybody, it wasn't, he goes, it's not a, hypnosis, it's some sort of spell cast by juggling grapes, puts everybody to sleep. And, Commander Winfield, whose name I forget, they're both having trouble waking up. He says, what's going on? I don't know if I recall. Something about grapes, jelly, jam, or ships. The Enterprise is covered in jam. And they came here. They told us to go to sleep. They juggled grapes, put everybody else to sleep. Now, meanwhile, Savik's in the back. She says, that's not logical. Juggling grapes casts a spell, has nothing to do with hypnosis. And they say, nothing to do with hypnosis. We're only here to help you. We should really want to help you get this mission resolved. Nothing. We're not under the influence of grapes at all. Not drinking grapes, not dancing grapes, not any grapes. Then Kirk says, let me check their Energizer transporter room. I got a theory. And McCoy says, I got a theory too. And Savick says, let's reach in here. Looks like somebody dropped something. And Kirk sits down and says, let me think about this here. Well, let me call Spock. Hey, Spock, you read me? Anybody read me? And nothing comes up. Savick says, that's interesting. And then Kirk tries again. Not getting a signal. Or is he even broadcasting? Is he broadcasting just because Khan is listening? And this is the actual careless whisper instead of the grape whisper. Because I believe Kirk is doing a little wordplay, maybe even singing careless whisper, but using it to broadcast information he wants Khan to hear, because Khan thinks he doesn't know that he knows he's listening in. So he spreads a little, sows a little, the old Captain Kirk special. He says, okay, let's energize back. Let's do auto energize. Let's go to the last location, maybe. And McCoy's like, what? Or something. And they all go, yeah, let's do that. So they turn pink and they energize out. And then we see the planetoid, moon, and they energize into some sort of another base. No windows, so we can assume safely, because they showed us a planet first, that this is within the planet. There's a giant locker, and McCoy opens up the locker. It's a science tube instrument, similar to the one they saw. That had powers to build, make any environment a thematic environment, a theme park. Then Blue Lagoon comes out, And he does a dance-off with Kirk, and Kirk has to show him, he goes, son, I've been dancing before you were a twinkle in Brooke Shields' eye. But then he notices the kid's hair. Then he notices the lead scientist's hair. Then he notices that they used to know each other. And I do mean biblically. I guess I don't know if I mean biblically, but I think I mean biblically. And she says, James, then she says, let's resolve this without a dance-off. And then suddenly Winfield and, why can't I think of his name? Chekhov. I don't know why it took me so long. Like all of a sudden, Chekhov and Winfield. Now, I never noticed this till just now, but what is that at? Let's do a jump back 10 seconds. Okay, so we're at 0107 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 0107 12 in the film, and I never noticed this before, but there seems to be some sort of improvised device. And this is a fairly dated reference, but just in case there's people that are the same date as me, or you're curious to learn more, in our Earth era, whatever you want to call it, the old boy era, from the old boy era of Earth, there was these things known as crystal radios. This is a real thing. And I've talked about this on the Radio Shack episodes. You could get a crystal radio kit, make your own crystal radio. Now, so, I didn't pay attention to the science part of it. That's why I'm not on a science station. But somehow the crystal can, without battery power, I believe, I'm not positive about this, but I'm pretty sure the battery power of the crystal, somehow the crystal could pull in without power, at least AM radio broadcasts, and it would be hard to amplify because it didn't have power. And I think maybe part of the kit was converting those radio waves into sound waves. So I'm not sure how it does all that, but it's a long way saying that Khan has a very similar device he's improvised, somehow connected to his wrist. Now, this may also work like one of those batteries, like seawater batteries, but based on maybe human, I don't know, Khan's not human, but like Khan's sweat, or is Khan metahuman? I don't know. I think he is, but this device is not a crystal radio, even though that's my first impression, was like he's got some sort of wrist-based crystal radio with a salt water battery that actually runs on his own sweat. But what I do believe this is some sort of grape-based, it's a way for him, it's a crystal sweat broadcaster amplifier, so it's able to amplify Khan's whisper into in this case Captain Winfield. I can't remember his actual real name. That's his real name. Like Chekhov and Winfield are still under the influence of Khan's whisper, so it's like some sort of whisper it's still a whisper because no one can hear it but them. So basically what they say is like, hey, maybe it also works by radio, but they say, hey, by the way, we're in charge here with Khan, and Chekhov doesn't like it, even though he's stuck with the whisper. And Khan says, okay, you got everything I need? I need that big tube thing. We're going to build some theme-based worlds, terraforming. And Winfield says, I can't be a part. You can't just build a theme park world on a planet, even if it without its permission first. Oh, I see. It works on a wristband. So Winfield was wearing a wristband that he removes. But the Winfield, whatever the wristband is, now this is unfortunate, but this is also science fiction. When you remove the wristband, it's modulating whatever Khan's whisper is. It's kind of beyond our understanding. And unfortunately, he turns to jelly or jam or some other thing. Now, I don't think this part was anticipated, but somehow him turning to jelly, because it's really that, like, somehow when Khan's whispering in you, he's actually putting some jelly into your, like your the way you hear. So, which, okay, that makes sense, right? Like jelly jam, like material, it's sticky, it's in your, and then like, the crystal radio was somehow brought, like, that's how he gets the whisper from a remote thing. So instead of hearing what, like, just what you're hearing with your regular hearing, you're hearing a vibration of jelly, which you don't know. You just think it's your own thoughts or whatever. But because of Winfield's actions of removing his wristband and becoming just jelly, that makes Chekhov's jelly melt out of his ears. So Kirk yells into the wristbands, which are also radios with Khan. And at first Khan's dismayed. Whatever he says to him, probably not very nice. He's really yelling. He says, by the way, I'm not happy about this. I love Winfield. Chekhov's was originally one of my crew members. I don't know, whatever he says blows Khan's mind. But, unfortunately, they still manage to, get the device, the theme building device off of the, base or wherever they are, which is really not good news because I don't know, whatever he did to say to Khan is like, Khan is still like, I can't believe he said that about my, whatever. I'm really not happy at all now. And maybe he said, I left you behind on purpose or whatever. Wow, he's leaning back. He's both relaxed and tense at the same time. But I guess he's talking to Kirk because he says, yeah, by the way, we've got this. He goes, you thought it was just a device for, like, your problem was creating a themed entertainment complex planet where no one desires one. He goes, let me lay this on you, Captain Kirk, Admiral Kirk, James T. Kirk. Where's your hometown again? Because, what if I just make your hometown or your home planet, Earth, presumably, I'm making a big leap there, but I think so. Earth, the USA or whatever, he would say, he goes, what if I just send this device down there and all of Earth becomes one big theme? And he goes, well, he goes, yeah, but instantly everybody on there becomes in the employ of this themed environment. And Kirk goes, well, I don't know how there could even be enough customers for that. He goes, it doesn't need to be viable. The device makes it viable. And Kirk looks at the scientist who nods. She nods, says, yep, unfortunately, he's right. It doesn't make any sense. It's science. Sometimes science is like magic, and sometimes it's like not good magic. But it also is good magic. It just depends on your perspective. So then Khan says, I don't know who you love on Earth, but imagine them as, they get what if they're just, he goes, maybe they're going to be deep frying churros all day. And Kirk goes, no, deep frying churros, or however he would say it, then everybody's a bit down, thinking about the people, okay, like what are the worst jobs you could have in a themed planet? And And then they get, okay, is this really possible by science? And the scientist says, actually, yeah, we discovered this, paradox. Paradox, yeah, two docs next to each other. And from that, we developed a theory. And she goes, this is my son, by the way. And Kirk says, I got to put my glasses on. And the son says, there's some things that are appealing about a planet at theme parks. And he's younger and no one else is. So he says, I got to take a walk. Nobody gets me. And then Kirk says, maybe the scientists and I should be left alone. And Saavik says, I don't understand any of this. Every world, why does a world need a theme if it's already what it is? And she walks off what it is. So then Kirk is alone with the scientists. Now, like I said, they had some sort of, they know one another. And I think they get to this point now. She says, is that the kid from the Blue Lagoon? And she goes, I thought that we were in a turquoise lagoon. And yeah, about exactly 9 months after we swam in that turquoise lagoon, James T. Kirk, he goes, let me think about this silently. She goes, I got to put a coat on. And he goes, wait a second, 9 months, wait a second, because what, wait, what? She goes, yeah, exactly. My son, your son, but not our son, because you're busy running around in outer space. He's like, so that's not the kid. Meanwhile, Chekhov's there the whole time sleeping with like paper towels around him to keep absorbing any jelly or jam. And Kirk won't even make eye contact because he's kind of like, I don't know, he doesn't make it about him too much, but a little bit, And she goes, listen, man, like, let's just be realists here. Yes. And no, it didn't, there's not a path through space and time that would have ever made it work other than this way. And she goes, take my hand. I got to show you something. Then we go back to Khan's ship. And whatever had Khan down, he's in a little bit of a better mood. But the scientist says, James, I want you to show you something before you get an idea. This was our first themed world. And she shows it to him through this window, and it's like this cool indoor, the indoor-outdoor thing. Disney once upon a time did that like the best. And she goes, this is indoor-outdoor, but it's like real. That's the difference between our themed environments are real. So real sunshine, real waterfalls. Not forced perspective, but epic perspectives. Then Khan's flying around. We go back to his ship. He sees the station. No Enterprise. Now everybody's checking out this themed world. They're eating they're even eating stuff. It's kind of like the beginning of the original Willy Wonka film, not the beginning part, though. I guess the beginning of the part at the Wonka where they're in that room and everything's edible and wonderful, though this situation is not. So, in Kirk's feeling a little philosophical, So we're like eating apples. So this is like, I guess it was a bigger deal than I knew. I mean, this is an actual organic manufacture, like a manufactured and organic at the same time. This is what kind of they're talking about. Like, we could eat this stuff. And they go, yeah, those are cotton candy clouds. They can be eaten, and they're clouds. It's going to rain. We don't have the branding for Skittles, but it's going to rain Skittles in about 8 minutes. So usually what we do is we wear sombreros, They're plastic or hard sombreros, so that we don't get pelted with not Skittles, but, Skittle-like snacks. And then you can eat them. And then Savik says, illogical. What if you eat them all? And they say, oh, no, they'll be reabsorbed into the environment if you leave them behind. So then Kirk's like, we got to get back to the ship and figure this out. I got to talk to Spock. So they go back. They say, let's go for a jog around the ship. I tricked Khan, so he thinks he thinks that we're going to be on this planet with a themed environment on the inside. Spock goes, was there rides? And Kirk goes, I didn't think to ask. But it rains something like Skittles. They go back to the bridge because they're going to dance off with the Reliant. That's the name of the other ship that Khan has taken over. And they say, Scotty, can you get this ship working or what? And he says, I'll do my best. Unfortunately, my jelly, my waterproof suit is like white, so it'll be covered in jelly. But better get back to work, huh? He said, you've been sitting around the bridge the whole time I was gone. Scotty says, yeah, it's the engineering's covered in goo. So then everybody gets called to duty. It's time. And a lot of people carrying light sticks, but they figured out that these light sticks solidify into a full jello jiggler. So this happened, I think, maybe in the director's cut. But they figured out that they could use these light sticks. I mean, they're not just light sticks, obviously. There's some sort of science-based light stick. But that you could touch any jelly or jam with them. They'll turn into like a jello jiggler. And you might say, what's the big deal with that? And I say, well, have you ever held jello in your hand or jelly? And have you ever held jello jiggler in your hand? A well-made jello jiggler does not leave any remnants behind where anything else is going to be sticky. And on a spaceship, that's just not a good idea. So anyway, they're ready now, and they're getting they have some sort of sour grape based something that's going to turn everything on Conship into vinegar. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just the natural flora within us, that they talk about, or within the world. You kind of like kombucha, what are they, mother? I guess that's probably what it is. So they packed everything, like they got these tubes they're going to send over there with mother, I guess. And that'll vinegarize any grapes. They're also going to go into these clouds because they don't have they're still working on repairing their ship. And so both ships will be in there, and you can't use your shields within this cloud. So that evens things out, apparently. It gives them one less thing they have to try to repair, maybe. Now, meanwhile, Kirk's son, which I guess we could say Blue Lagoon, he comes on. He's wearing looking very collegiate and preppy. I'm not saying that in a bad way. He's got like a sweater tied around his neck. But meanwhile, they're in the middle of action, trying to figure out what Khan's up to, outmaneuver Khan. And Kirk's does, because he's got a lot more experience. And he's also Khan, it's amazing. Khan's got that Avengers Starfleet necklace still. But his second in command, old Roller Disco, he says, what are you doing, man? Kirk's going to outmaneuver us. And he says, don't sass me. And then they're also, this is like this stormy sea version of where they are. So Spock's like, this is going to impact the power, sir. And Kirk says, it's exactly what I want, to go deeper into the clouds. And I know exactly what I'm doing. So this is like one of those undersea maneuvering movies. We go back to Khan's ship. He's kind of flying, like he doesn't, like he's lost intention or whatever. Initiative. Yeah, I guess, what is that? Is that what you roll for when you're playing a role-playing game? He's way behind on initiative now. Like he's given all the initiative to Kirk, and also all his people know it. And we get some great shots of the ships flying, and then at some point coming up here, like they're trying to find one another, but Enterprise is much far above, if you can use that terminology in a space context, and then it manages to come right in behind, which I guess still in space is not a good thing. Part of it is you don't even have a rear view mirror, right? And the cameras aren't working. Nothing electrical is working reliably in these clouds. So first they try like light beams that are doing the same thing. Like they would turn any grape jellies or jams on board a Khan's ship to jello jigglers, which would be not really launchable. They'd get caught in their launchers. Storm gets worse. Blue Lagoon's watching the whole time. And there's a lot of lights that are blocking Khan's view. And Kirk says, just be patient, just be patient. And he says, like, once we have it, we'll go vinegar them. But meanwhile, Khan actually gets off a couple of good ones with the workable jelly on their ship. And so he manages to get some jelly and jam on board the Enterprise. Meanwhile, they do the same thing. And so Khan's ship, because everything gets jammed, his second in command says, maybe they existed on some sort of grape-based internal systems. I don't know. And he goes, everything within me's turned to jello jiggler. I'll never want to dance again. Roller disco. And Khan says, no. And he goes, also not serving on the ship anymore. Then Chekhov goes to meet with Kirk. He says, yeah, man, how about I, take over on the bridge? I'm totally up for it. And Spock says, illogical, but I love it. And Kirk says, thanks, Spock. That's why I love you. And he goes, we got to figure something else out. We're kind of still standoff. And Spock says, Jim, yeah, he goes, you'll figure it out. I believe in you. And then he says, that's just what I need. I just needed that validation. And he goes, let me sit down. Okay, get ready. We're going to do both. We're going to jello jiggler vinegar into the ship, maybe. Maybe, I'm thinking about it. We'll move in on them again. First, I got to try a maneuver that's called the, they'll call it the Kirk once they hear about it. Goes, everybody watch, pay attention. Khan's trying to figure out what to do, his move. So he's watching his screens. Meanwhile, he's probably distracted. And once again, Enterprise sneaks right up behind them. And he says, Chekhov, why don't you launch that those vinegar rockets? And at the same time, right when the vinegar, the stuff that's going to create vinegar out of grapes, will solidify it. He says, do it. And so basically somehow they turn all the jelly and jam and grape, everything grape, into like a vinegar thing, and then they gelatinize it. Now, why is this important? Because no one wants to work on a ship that permanently has an overwhelming vinegar smell. It's very distracting and hard to focus on your job. Like working in a grape-smelling environment is great. I mean, this is just what I've heard. I mean, it's also logical, right? Wouldn't be logical to work in an environment that, let me say, would it, it's just a little too acidic for most people. I mean, anybody. And so most of the people are like, yo, I'm getting on those exit pods. I'm not working here anymore. And then, ironically, Khan had covered himself in jelly. So now he's kind of got this, like, jelly, he's like, I'm staying behind, you know. I'm not leaving my ship. So he's having trouble maneuvering the ship anymore because he's, like, a little bit stiff, because he's covered in, like, a suit of solidified jelly and jam that's also been a little bit vinegarized. But he has one more move left, which is to turn the Enterprise into a theme park, which I guess I didn't even think of, but I said, that's a brilliant move. He's going to waste the thing that he tried to take. But it's very complicated. You got to like turn all these rings, to make sure he's going to send it to the Enterprise, right? And he's like, Jim, I've already assigned you a role as a jester forever. You'll be a jester on the USS Enterprise, which will be a theme park. And so he keeps turning these tubes. Each one he has to turn to get it ready to go. And then he has to wait 999 like seconds or second equivalents. And Spock says, wait a second, I think he's going to turn everything around here into a theme park. He's going to activate the device. Kirk says, wait a second, what? Spock says, everything within whatever, 8 million miles or whatever is going to become a themed environment. Everything, everyone. Including my son from the Blue Lagoon? Yeah. Spock, what are we going to do? And Spock says, let me think. I got an idea. If only we get to warp speed, we could get out of here. And then Khan would be the only person we know of. But our ship has no power, or maybe just impulse power. We can't get out of here. Because under warp power, we could easily be gone. And Spock says, let me go down to engineering. I have a special relationship with grapes and grape juice, vinegar, all that. He goes down to engineering. And McCoy's down there, and he says, what are you doing? And Spock says, I'm going to go in the room that's sealed off. And McCoy says, you can't go in that room. It's sealed off. And Spock goes, yeah, but that's where we can... I can reset I can do a full reset of the engine. McCoy says, no, if you go in there, you'll he goes, whatever it is, he goes, something's in that room. Does the same thing that converted Khan's crew into he goes, I believe they're grape-based beings, but whatever we triggered. So he goes, you'll turn into a grape-based being, and then you'll become like a jiggler. He goes, the only reason Khan made it through it is because he's, 800 years old. And Spock says, go to sleep. I'm going to fix it. I'm fine. I'm going to be the big hero. I'm only doing it because I'm heroic. I don't need to be a hero. So he gets to work, and it's really oh, man, there's jelly and jam and preserves flying everywhere. And I guess you'd say, in a sense, it's like micro jelly and jam, because I think their point scientifically was that it was there's some sort of like, Khan maybe invented some sort of nano jam or nano jelly that may have had some intelligence too, but then that could obviously like become a part of you. So this is like this thing where it's not, of course, it's not just one button to reset the engine. So Spock has to go through all this stuff. So meanwhile, he's converting to a jelly-based being. I mean, more or less, this stuff that, grape jelly-based being or whatever. And, but meanwhile, he's also becoming a jello jiggler, which means he's losing his ability to move around easily and stuff. Meanwhile, Khan thinks he's won, so he's just laughing. They keep going back to him. He's laughing. He's rolling around in jelly and jam. He just keeps saying, James T. Kirk, he goes, dance for me, Jester Kirk, stuff like that. I'll have a lollipop, Jester Kirk. So then Spock is trying to reset things, more or less. So he gets the reset going, reboot, and as a ticking clock, because it wasn't 999 seconds. It was a countdown, not a second-based countdown. And he gets the reboot completed. They go into warp. Now, meanwhile, Khan's ship and everything in the area, like there's these concentric rings, and we don't know what happens yet. So then we go back to like post, all you can see is like this glowing and stuff. They're watching it at a distance, this change happening. The scientist she's watching, her son was watching Kirk, and then he holds his mother's hand. Isn't this beautiful? It's like a sun or something. It is beautiful, but Spock's not here for me to enjoy it. And Kirk says, where's Spock? You'd want to see this. So they go down, and so there was that planet. So then we get these beautiful effects of that planetoid, and it's like terraforming, like live in front of us, which does involve, I guess, apparently some sort of volcanic activity, which would make sense, as that's a part of. I don't know if there's glacier action, but there's volcanic activity and stuff like that. So I guess they first create the land environment. But he gets down to engineering, and he wants to go hug Spock in the sealed-off room. But they say you can't go in there. Otherwise, you'll turn into a great base being, and then you'll solidify. And Spock's solidified, and he calls in through the PA, Spock, can you hear me? Spock, can you hear me? And Spock was resting, and he gets up, which takes a lot more effort. He actually fixes his jacket in a very dignified way. Then he goes up as best he can. He can't leave because they got to keep that room sealed now for sure. And he says, Jim, I don't consider you more than a coworker. I consider you a friend. And I've always looked up to you. And despite what people say about you behind your back, I love you and accept you for who you are. And I do find you to be a good leader, despite feelings that contrary deep within me. And we have a saying on Vulcan that's not logical. Goes nobody's perfect. And Kirk says that's the most logical thing I ever heard. And he says, Jim, nobody's perfect, but our friendship and friendship in general is kind of an imperfectly perfect thing. And he says, I got to sit down, man, because I can't, I'm jiggling. And then he gets down. He goes, now, one more thing, Jim. try to reel it in, sometimes. Remember, you're imperfect. And then they do the Vulcan, the V thing on the window. And at first Kirk's like, I don't know if I'm this comfortable with this level of intimacy, though he does care. So he doesn't actually match the Vulcan, but I guess he's not Vulcan, so. And then Spock says, I am now a jello jiggler. And he's still jiggling, but the Spock that we know for the time being is resting as the jello jiggler. So then they say, what would be great if we take Spock and we send him to the theme park planet. I don't know. I just have a great idea. And I think that's what we'll do. And they have a nice ceremony. And the park, like, you can't go to the planet while it's under construction because it's not, it's some sort of, miraculous construction. But they send Spock there. And then Kirk is like, he's back reading his book. It looks like he's having champagne, and his son comes. And they try to have a moment together. He's like, I'm no parent, not a father. I'm a father figure, but seem like you're a good kid. Let me give you a hug. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't tell him he's his dad. I don't know. And then they leave the planet. And they have a moment on the bridge where they're looking at it from afar because it's becoming more and more. It develops an atmosphere. It has its own sun, I think, and oceans, and it looks beautiful from afar, particularly because there's no lines when it's afar. You're not waiting in line for a ride or whatever. I don't know if the organic process generates its own customers. Maybe that's a part of it. So we're looking on that planet longingly, but with a sense of nostalgia, like it's like idealized at this moment, and Spock's on there. So they all get philosophical. Kirk makes a couple speeches about it. He goes, remember, I expect imperfection as your captain. It may not be possible. And then we get a view of some of the themed environments, a little bit like the Jungle Cruise or something. We see even the Mark IV thing, like a gelatinous jelly holder that Spock's in, and more terraforming, mist and sunshine, and the movie comes to a close. And so I hope you enjoyed the Grapes of Khan Part 2, everybody. Maybe you could rest as if we were all on a bed of jello jigglers. That was a bed and not really jello, but in a sense like that, perfectly. I don't know, is that a plasma? I have no idea. It's more of a solid, I guess. Just like the solid friendship of Kirk and Spock. Good night. All right, but here's a Tuck You In message from our sponsor, Helix. Be sure to take that quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep and stay tuned for an amazing discount, too. Because, right now, it's that colder season, and there's nothing I love more at night, or there's nothing I love more in the morning than getting in or staying in my wonderful Helix bed. I know when I'm going to bed, I'm going to get in a good night's sleep because I'm going to be comfortable. I sleep on my side. I sleep on my stomach. I know the bed is going to work for my needs because I took the Helix quiz just at the end of last year. Got matched with a Helix that fits how I sleep and what I prefer. I got one with all the different features just so that I don't overheat and so that I have the support I need. And this is my second Helix. Unfortunately, I couldn't take the Helix with me when I moved, but it was actually good because some of my sleep habits had changed. and I was looking for something with a bit more support. And then I took that Helix quiz, which you could take right now at helixsleep.com/sleep. See what mattress you get matched with, and just start to imagine being cozy and warm in a bed that fits you, how you sleep, what you need, what's going to be comfortable for you. And I'll be in my Helix at the same time, comfortable and cuddled up. Oh boy, I think I'm going to go get back in bed. The Helix quiz makes buying a mattress so easy. Plus, you get to do it in the comfort of your home. What could be easier than that? The Helix is also an award-winning mattress brand, tested and reviewed by experts at Forbes and Wired. It's seamless delivery right to your door, free shipping in the U.S., and they have the Happy with Helix guarantee. You could rest easy with seamless returns and exchanges. The Happy with Helix guarantee offers a risk-free, customer-first experience designed to ensure you're completely satisfied with your new mattress. There's a 120-night sleep trial and a limited lifetime warranty. And Helix helps you sleep better. A study they ran found 82% of those involved saw an increase in their deep sleep cycle while sleeping on a Helix mattress. And here's the deal. This is why you got to take that quiz right now. Go to helixsleep.com/sleep to see the latest offers for Sleep With Me listeners. That's helixsleep.com/sleep for current offers. Make sure to enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody.